Hello everyone, welcome back to Multiverb, where I document my language learning journey, and in today's video we are going to be talking about learning vocab.
Oh really? That sucks.
So I feel like learning vocab is like something that in general is kind of like the hidden beast of language learning. You might be thinking, oh Master Polyglot, why do you think that? Number one is that languages have a lot of fucking words. You take in English, we have the word big,
I know it's big,
huge, humongous, enormous, ginormous, and they all mean more or less the same thing.
Is that the same as being Japanese? No.
And on top of that, that's a lot of shit to remember, and also the various different nuances. Some words are very versatile. You take the word kwa in French, kilo in Hebrew, or böyle in Turkish. These are not simple words as for example table is table and nothing else. A word like quoi is something that can be used in a question form. It can be used to affirm something, just as a filler word. And a common mistake that many first-time language learners will make is that they kind of presume that every word has an equivalent in English. What I'm basically trying to say is that learning vocab is not this black and white thing that you can just look up the 100 most common words and just wing it. Which is why, as the master polyglot and speaker of 20 languages, I'm here today to give you 3 tips on how I personally learn vocab as a language student and also someone who is into languages. However, before I get into that, I do want to mention something that is very important, and that is that you need to learn about your learning style. So for example, you take someone like me, I'm very much an audio-based learner.
Listen, bitch.
This means that I will often find that words that I hear in class, I will find much easier to remember than words that I find in a book, for example, and just read to myself. Some people, by contrast, are actually more visual learners, so they will find, for example, things like associating words with pictures, for example, more useful than just hearing the word, which is more useful in my case. So that's why it's always important to find out what kind of learning style you have, which maybe I'll do a video on that, who knows. Be sure to let me know in the comment below. However, before we get into this video, be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. It's at Multiverb for Twitter and at MultiverbYT. Always posting over there, especially on Twitter, because Twitter, the chaos is I'm just silly over there, so the first tip that I will always give to language learners is to use flashcards. Now, I mean, in other news, water is wet, but I cannot stress the importance of using flashcards in language learning. There are, of course, a plethora of different apps that you can use. For example, there's YouTubers such as Matt vs Japan who will stand by apps such as Anki, which are very mathematical, very based on science apps. Whereas you have other YouTubers such as Lee Speaks who prefer apps like Quizlet, which are I guess more gamified and more interactive. By contrast, you have people like me, for example, who enjoys apps like Memrise, mainly because the way that you can sort your different vocab is just so satisfying. There's also another app which I am obsessed with at the moment, which I'll be mentioning at the end of the video, so be sure to stick around for that. Another method that you can use to learn vocab is to use immersion. If you're in the, I guess, upper beginner stages of learning a language, one channel I would already recommend is called Easy Languages. I'm currently using their video series on Easy Hebrew to practice my Hebrew, to practice my listening and also comprehension skills. However, they do offer various different videos in various different languages, from everything from Swahili to Hungarian to Czech, I think. If you're at a bit of a more advanced level, one thing that you can check out is Netflix's new feature, which allows you to actually filter by original language and also by available dubs in that language. I find this very useful for languages that I'm a little bit more advanced in. So for example, languages like French and Spanish, that I can actually watch stuff either originally made in French or Spanish, or stuff that's dubbed in either of those.
Escucha las palabras de las brujas.
Also notice that one thing that just helps me sometimes is just watch a show in maybe French, for example, and then just to put the subtitles, why can't I speak? Put the subtitles below in Hebrew, and this will just help me I guess just take away at picking up some vocab passively, or even just when I just see the words in context, I guess I feel that just helps reinforce it a little bit. Which leads me on to my third tip, which is use the vocab that you learn in context. So there are various different ways that you can do this. So for example, you can use a language exchange app. So one that I personally use a lot is the app Hello Talk. I'm currently using this to practice my Arabic at the moment. One app which I am obsessed with at the moment is the app Close Master. It's been I guess trending a little bit in the language learning community. But what I love about Close Master is, for example, for a language like Hebrew, I can select a deck of the 100 most common words. For those who don't know, the 100 most common words in language usually constitutes for about 50% of all words used in language. That, however, does not mean that you will understand 50% of the language. It just means that you'll understand like maybe 50% of the words, if that makes sense. So for example, instead of just giving you like just a random word in Hebrew, let's just say like מים, meaning water, instead it will actually like give you the word in context. So for example, it'll give you a phrase like אני שותה את המים, like I drink the water. Or for example, אתה רוצה מים, do you want some water? This kind of like complements on a lot of what I was saying earlier about using language in context, giving yourself that little bit of immersion. Oh my god.
What? Oh. Okay.
There's two? I literally don't remember what I was talking about, but anyway, yeah. So this kind of like goes back to like what I was saying about using the language in context, but also you're kind of like reviewing vocab in, I guess, in like a more of like a flashcard kind of way. And of course, like you're getting that little bit of immersion because you're also like seeing like real life sentences. So that's all for this video. I know this video was a little bit shorter, but I do have like, you know, shit to do today. I can't like just sit around entertaining you all day. So yeah, be sure to subscribe, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and I don't know. Bye.